One of the major events that shaped the 19th century was the relentless European expansion, especially to the African continent. Shortly after the Berlin Conference of 1885, the European powers forcefully took over Africa, brutally colonizing one country to another and enforcing their rulership and dominance. While Britain targeted countries like Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, and others, France colonized Mali, Niger, Guinea, Cameroon, and others. Italy, on its part, targeted Ethiopia. However, the Ethiopian troops led by Emperor Menelik II encountered and defeated the Italian troops who were coming to seize the territory at Adwa forcefully. This war was regarded as the Battle of Adwa, and it was one of the most turning points in the history of Africa, especially as it suggested to the Europeans that Africa was not theirs. How the war began. By 1885, the so-called scramble for Africa was fully underway, with European countries like Spain, Belgium, Italy, Germany, United Kingdoms, Portugal, and others carving up virtually among themselves. While other countries began their incursion almost immediately, Italy was a latecomer in the game. The success of Britain and other countries that had invaded Africa encouraged Italy, and so Italy began its incursion and took over the Red Sea port of Massawa. From there, Italy began to spread its dominance, establishing a colony in Eritrea, a small island formerly under the control of Ethiopia. But one obvious thing that restricted their expansion or could make a country become a big power was a strong navy, which Italy didn't have. According to Haley Larebel, an associate professor at Morehouse College, Italians simply mimicked countries like France and Britain. In 1889, the Italian representatives signed a treaty with Emperor Menelik, who was the Ethiopian king at that time, in recognition of the claim that Eritrea was then a colony of the Italians. This was because the small land was used as an exchange for a loan of money and weapons. But shortly after that, a major point of discord arose, fueled by the disparities between Amharic versions of the text and Italian, over whether the treaty recognized the entire country of Ethiopia as part of the Italian protectorate. King Menelik and his wife, Tiatu Betul, get ready for the battle. Emperor Menelik, who claimed to be one of the descendants of the biblical King Solomon and Queen of Sheba, and his wife, Tiatu Betul, a strong opponent of European rule, prepared to defend their sovereignty by confronting the Italian army. They bought highly sophisticated weapons as part of their readiness to defend their territory from becoming part of Italian protectorates. They launched a campaign to draw the attention and help of several Ethiopian sympathies. For instance, Alfred Lieg, who was a Swiss-born engineer, joined the struggle and helped modernize the country's infrastructure. In fact, many publications were made to support the Ethiopians in the struggle to maintain their territory. During the rise of King Menelik to power, he viciously mutilated rival Ethiopians. He destroyed many non-Christian worship centers, encouraged pillage, and at the height of it, branded enslaved people in the country with the mark of the cross. However, when the Italians mounted their pressure and began their incursion, King Menelik saw the need to unite the country's fractious provincial rulers and command their support. This was why he was able to raise more than 120,000 troops to defend their territory when he called for mass mobilization in September 1895. Meanwhile, by this time, the Italian army had advanced about 250 miles of Addis Ababa the newly created Ethiopian headquarters. Menelik and his wife Teitu embarked on a 5-month march near the city towards the north. By December 1895 and January 1896, the Ethiopian army destroyed a large number of Italian columns at Amba Lagi. Then it besieged an Italian fort at Mekele, forcing them to surrender by applying Teitu's tactics of cutting off the water supply. Afterward, the Ethiopian army marched past the main and entrenched Italian army and got to the Adwa area. Throughout this period, King Menelik was alleged to have been spreading false rumors and downplaying the size and formidability of his army. Considering this inability to access water, food, and accurate maps, Oreste Baraturi, the Italian commanding officer, retreated into Eritrea.